Greetings. Merry Christmas to the KAMMINGA family. Well, I still call you the KAMMINGAs. I don't know, if you still refer to yourselves as that. Maybe Matt does. I don't know about Di. Maybe, I'm not sure about CAITLYN. Anyways, and the rest of all the KAMMINGAs. I mean, any new spouses and children and things like that. Greetings to all of you. Um, Thank you for the birthday cards also from Diana and Di. Very kind to you and thoughtful. It's very encouraging to me as well. It's not easy living here in Los Angeles. I don't really think of myself as living here, even though I spend probably 3/4 of the year here, maybe well, yeah, 3/4. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But I come and go. I keep taking mission trips in the summers usually. And like last summer, or this past summer, 17, I went to Florida, down to the Keys, doing street evangelism along the way, all the way through all the states that I was in, all the states that were hit by hurricanes about a month before. I mean, I was there a month before the hurricanes hit, so Texas, Louisiana, Florida, they got hit hard, and I was there a month before that hurricane hit. So I guess you could say I was lucky or blessed, whatever the case may be. If I had been there at the wrong time, might have been trapped. But there was enough warning, I probably would have gotten out. So I can't say I was just like, you know, escaped close call. Nonetheless, I had a good trip and think hopefully I reached a few people trying to fulfill the Great Commission. As I passed over Hollywood Boulevard, they just had the Star Wars premiere here last night. It was a new one, the latest. I didn't go to it. I do go to some of those Hollywood events, but not as much as I used to. I'm kind of getting wizened and not so. It's not so exciting anymore, but still a little bit. I still attend some of the Oscar events that I can get into, not the big event itself. I don't have any connections to get into that. And nonetheless, Peter's sisters and all the Peter's sisters and their families are always in my thoughts and prayers. I always often reflect fondly about the days growing up in Grand Rapids and going to the cottage in Lake Michigan and with the KAMMINGAs. And that guy looks like Larry King. Look at. But and by the way, I was in Michigan, West Michigan, in the summer of '16. That was the mission trip for 2016. Spent about a week in Grand Rapids and Holland. Walked past the cottage on the on both sides actually. I didn't go up or in. When I walked past on the beach side, I didn't see anybody. Now the funny thing is, I was there. I don't know. Last time I was there, maybe 10 years ago. I was walking. I walked from Tunnel Park down the beach past the cottage, and there were people laying out, including the girl from next door, the Westrate girl. I think she's passed on now. Kim, yeah, Kim Westrate. And I didn't recognize her, but she recognized me. She stood up and she was excited to see me. It was great. And then I think Ani was down there, and one of Ani's kids. Apparently, this was before. I've heard that Ani doesn't go there anymore, but they saw me. They said hi. I said hi, and then one of them ran up to get Nancy or Mark or both. And at that point, I started thinking, uh-oh, I better get out of here. It's probably just a superstition, because maybe they really did want to see me, but some of those old, hard feelings, or not sure where you stand, rose up in my mind. I thought, well, I better not hang around here. I might, even though we know that was Leo. This was post Leo, PL, after Leo. Although Nancy was always a little suspicious of me too. Not that I was a perfect saint, but I wasn't really that bad. Some of their suspicions of me were unfounded. It was just the way they had kind of been brainwashed to treat us as a little bit inferior, because that would help them justify taking over the inheritance, basically. It's kind of the way criminals in some cases justify doing what they do. They say, oh, this person's too rich, they don't deserve that money anyways, they got more than they need, blah blah blah. It's justification. You dehumanize the enemy or victim and take advantage of them. I think that's the psychological phenomena behind all of that. But I think it became harder and more difficult for them to do that after a while. After we all went to college and graduate school in some cases, me to seminary, and how they can keep treating me as like I'm a bad person is just insane. Nonetheless, that was about 10 years ago, and I stayed around Michigan for a little while that time. But this time in 2016, it was a little more intentional missionary type trip, as well as exploration. I mean, I'm not saying I was just doing nothing but evangelizing every time I got out of the car, opened my mouth, nothing but the gospel. No, I mean, I'm a normal person too, but I'll do a lot of bumper, what do you call it, windshield wiper evangelism. I'll stick pieces of literature under windshield wipers for people to read, and I'll make videos as I'm traveling along, which include often, an invitation to Christ, and then you post those online, and people see them wherever you were. Like, let's say you're in Grand Rapids, and you post that on YouTube to Grand Rapids, or specific names, or schools, or areas, or whatever the case may be, and people randomly just find it on YouTube. And so the evangelism I'm doing, it multiplies, because then they share it in some cases. But it's not like it's a one and done thing where it's face to face. You've done it, now you're gone. You never do it again to that person or people. It stays there. That's really exciting I would call that a miracle of the internet, for evangelism. And so that's one thing I've been doing a lot of. And then it takes me a long time, because that's just getting the footage. Then you gotta, get it onto a computer. You gotta upload it, edit it, things like that. And that all takes time. I also do a lot of that on Google Maps. Recently, on one of my accounts, just passed 16 million views with Google Maps, which all include little evangelical, inspirational things, So I feel happy and proud about that too. As I drive down Hollywood Boulevard through the notorious West Hollywood. I don't need to say any more about that. But and it's been kind of very dry here lately. The humidity has been very low, as you know. If you watch the news, there's been a lot of wildfires here, and they're still burning. The big one is still burning in Montecito and Santa Barbara. It started in Ventura. It was called the Thomas Fire. I don't know. I think I've heard they're calling it the Christmas Fire now. Maybe. I don't know. But Montecito is where where Westmont University is, and that's where one of the sons of Andy and Carol attends the university, and they just had mandatory evacuation, so it's hitting pretty hard all through that area right now. Thoughts and prayers for them. Fortunately, it hasn't caused many, if any, lives. Just a lot of property, which is nonetheless tragic and sad, but still not as bad as a life lost. And it's a good reminder to remember what's most important in life. Get straight with God before it's too late. So, I hope all is well in Olympia. I used to go up there around Christmas time for about 3 or 4 years. I went up there every Christmas. It was like a annual thing. Like 2005, 2004, around that time. And then a few other times I was up there. I went up there for the Olympics in Vancouver. Always explore Olympia, Seattle, Bellevue, Kirkland, Linden, Little Linden, all those areas, and the tulips areas, and in the spring sometimes I would go up there. So I love Washington, great state. It's a long drive though from here. I mean, just getting from here to San Francisco is a pretty good long drive, and then another long drive from San Fran through the northern part of California and through Oregon, and yeah, it's a long one, good one, but can't do it all the time. So I hope Matt's well. I hope CAITLYN is well. I remember CAITLYN and Jackson. We took a camping trip together. That was fun. Hiked up to a pond. She knew this pond, and it was like loaded with fish. I caught some fish for dinner. It was great. We fried it up right there, and she was learning to play her big bass in Jackson at the time, riding her bike in a long trek around there every day. God be with y'all. Continue to be in my thoughts and prayers. Merry Christmas to you. Feliz Navidad.